Thanksgiving a couple days ahead of time, since won't see anybody. We won't have any more phone calls to make after today or any press conferences, so hope you get a chance to spend it with your family and enjoy it. So the other thing is Ronnie Tyler won't be making a trip with us to NC State due to academic issues. And then NC State is a team that I have a lot of respect for Tom O'Brien and his coaching staff, having known Tom and competed against Tom before. I know what kind of team we're going to get. We're going to get a team that's well coached. We're going to get a team that's that's physical. A team that gets after it. Defensively, Dave Emerson. Outstanding player with all those interceptions, and strong in the secondary with Brandon Bishop and Earl Wolf. And their two linebackers are playing very, very well, and Aldi Cole and Terrell Manning, and then J.R. Sweezy up front. So they're an aggressive, sound, fundamental defensive football team that plays hard, each and every play. Offensively, they're very multiple. T.J. Graham, outstanding special teams performer. Mike Glennon, you see him really starting to settle into his role there as the quarterback. And James Washington, running back, had a good game against Clemson. And you watch them play Clemson, and what they did against Clemson, was really something that you hope they don't do again this week. But they forced turnovers and then capitalized on those turnovers. So we know it's going to be a tremendous challenge, and but I know our guys will work hard this week and go down there, ready to compete.
Coach, can you talk about Deontay moving up to left guard, #1, what he's doing there? What occurred for that to happen?
I just, as I've watched things and certain people compete in there before, and then I saw him doing things in practice. We went into the game last week where I wanted to be able to get some reps for Deontay in there, and I like his athleticism. I like the way that he moves, and I want to be able to see him and evaluate him to see how he can do in there. I've seen things in practice where, in terms of the things that we want to do offensively, but again, I want to see more of him. But again, some of it had to do with other people in front of him that I didn't think were playing as well as we needed to, and I think that he deserved to, get an opportunity.
Back right, Dave.
Coach, Mike Lennon, what is it? What have you seen about him that really impresses you? What kind of sets him apart from some of the other guys that you've tried to study?
Well, he's a tall guy, 6'6", 232. Stands in there in the pocket, gets rid of the ball, has quick release. Ball comes out fast. Knows where to go. With the ball. Has good command from what I see on film, of what they do. But again, I think it's he's big, and he's got a good arm and can make all the throws.
Randy, I understand the motto about no excuses, but in reality, we're at the end of the year now, and I was just wondering how much of an impact has having 17 and a half hours a week to prepare this team, how big of a factor has that been?
We've talked about that as a staff, and going into the season, I don't think any of us realized how much of an impact that was going to have, especially when you're coming into a new situation and you're installing new systems. So like I said, we've talked about that, and that was something that probably had a bigger impact than what we anticipated.
Coach, year one, it's Thanksgiving week. What kind of things, in kind of establishing things, what do you have to be thankful for from this first season? What sort of building blocks do you feel that you've put in place?
Well, I think that what we've been able to do is we've been able to establish, a plan for what we want to do. We're not we're not where we want to be or where we need to be. But I think the one thing in the lessons that I'm going to address, with our team on Sunday, because we'll have a team meeting on Sunday, and we'll get ready for 2012. But it's every day, that the young men, walk in here, and they come through the building, and they go down the steps, and the first thing that they see is the pyramid. And we've been able to establish some of those things, but we haven't been able to establish everything. And again, anytime that you're installing something new, it does take time. The young men see, at the top of the pyramid, because it's called gaining results through teamwork. And what they see at the top of the pyramid, they see wins, they see bowl games, they see championships, they see graduation. But you just can't go from the ground floor to the top floor without doing the process along the way. And the process along the way is about team. It's about trust, belief, buy into. That's the foundation. That's the first level of the pyramid. The second level is enthusiasm and having the passion to be as good as you can be in everything that you do, academically, football, and as people. And also then to have that body language that portrays, that passion and that enthusiasm. That's the second level. Then the third level is accountability. And that's being dependable. Being dependable. Are you somebody that can be counted on? And then are you willing to know what the program is, and then when other people don't do the things that are expected within the program, are you going to confront them and say, this isn't right. This isn't how we do things here. This isn't the Maryland way. And then the last thing is mental toughness. And that's being coachable. And that's always having the right attitude when you come to work each and every day, or you go to class each and every day. And it's not like, oh, if something bad happens, oh, here we go again. Is this going to happen? So I feel thankful that at least we've got that part implemented. Have we got it all accomplished? No, we haven't. And did I think that it would get all accomplished in 1 year? In less than 12 months? No, I didn't think it would happen that way. Because as I've said before, I've been through this before. But we've made the strides. And I think through the experiences, everybody has learned that there's a process that you have to go through. And you can't go from the bottom of the floor to the penthouse, without doing those things in terms of what we want the Maryland way to be and what we want to get accomplished.
Coach, just looking at film and the performance of both Sal and Cole, how do you rate them? Their play?
Cole.
Toronto and Sal.
Yeah, well, Cole just played on special teams. I thought Sal did. I thought he did some good things. He had a tough matchup on Saturday with their nose guard and them playing the 50 front. So I thought he did. I thought he did some good things. He's got good feet. He battled. I'm anxious to see him again this week too, because Bennett's not going to make the trip either, because that hammy's a little bit worse than what we thought. So he's probably, it's a 6 to 8 week deal. And that was just from doing a drill, punching here and had the helmet off and just slid the foot and a hamstring.
Straight in.
Yeah, Coach, earlier in the year you said this wasn't a rebuilding job, but at this point in the season, have your thoughts changed on that at all, or did you still have that same?
to me, it's installing, our program, and it's in doing the things that I feel we have to do in order to be successful, and doing it the way that I think that we can do what the university wants us to do.
Part of that, Kevin?
Yeah, just wanted to ask about the offense. You had, I guess it was in mid-October, you guys scored all those points against Clemson, and since then you haven't had the points I'm sure that you would like. And I wonder if you could just, assess that briefly. What has not happened with the offense that would need to happen to score more?
Well, I think we just haven't taken advantage of opportunities. I mean, if you watch the film on Saturday, and I know you weren't there, you were in sunny Puerto Rico enjoying yourself, so you couldn't see it live and in person. I think I'd rather have been in Puerto Rico with you. But no, I mean, when you have those opportunities to get points, you don't get them. And we very easily could have had 28 points, on Saturday, 28, 30 points if we took advantage of those opportunities and made plays, in those areas. And we just haven't been able to, make plays and take advantage of some of the opportunities that we've had. That's been the biggest thing. And that was, the Clemson game was really the game where we scored the most. And some of that had to do with some of the things that they did, defensively, that we were able to, maybe and make some big plays there, as opposed to some other people in terms of them playing a lot of man coverages, instead of people playing zone coverage.
You talked about the process of installing the new program, and especially considering you guys have only had the shortened weeks of practice. How helpful would the extra practices in preparation for a bowl game have been, working towards the future, and does that make missing a bowl more frustrating for you?
Well, when you take a look at all the injuries, I think we've gotten a lot of practices for guys that would have gotten extra practices. So I think the one thing is that from that standpoint, because of the injuries, the young kids that would, because usually what happens is with the bowl practices, you're trying to get your young kids, more repetitions. But because of injuries and numbers, our kids have gotten a lot of reps. Even some of the guys that, the linemen, that were on scout team, I mean, they got a lot of reps just because of numbers. But that's one of the big things from a bowl game standpoint, is you get the opportunity to, get those young kids some practice. But then again, depending on what bowl game that you go to, sometimes practices can be very limited due to, final exam schedules and all those sort of things.
Randy, David Mackel, is there at least a chance at this point that he could be reinstated for next year, or has that ship sailed?
I don't think that looks real promising right now.